Yes.
Hi guys, welcome to our video. Stop, don't laugh at me.
I'm not laughing at you.
My name is Tina Dodds and we're here with Karen today and we are going to talk to the Sirian Light Council. We're going to do a BQH session. First, we're going to pull an oracle card for the collective. And then we're going to put Karen in the bubble and connect with the Sirian Light Council.
Yes.
Are you giving the finger? What is that?
My thumb. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to pull a card from the Sacred Rebels deck from Alana Fairchild. These are my favorite decks. She's so awesome. Let's see what we got. Oh, this one fell right out. Listening for truth.
Aha.
Aha.
That's an important one.
Yeah.
This is exactly what we were talking about.
Exactly.
People are all in their own little bubbles of whatever it is.
Yep. Number 36, 9.
Great number.
I just pulled this not that long ago. This is the one I posted on my Instagram. Because it's just...
That was for you to speak your own truth. And now that you're starting to notice that people are not either doing that.
Right. Yeah. So let's see what they say. Truth speaks to us constantly, but not always in words. It may communicate through a feeling that is hard to put into words, but brings an inexplicable sense of peace, trust, and the knowledge that somehow everything is going to work out perfectly, even if there is little evidence of how it is all going to work out. You are being asked to listen for the truths beneath the words, rather than the superficial message of words themselves. This is especially true for the communications of those around you, the press, the newspapers, and the mass media. You will begin to hear fear in the words and actions of those around you, even as they preach love. Listen deeper. Listen for the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's about using that discernment. This oracle comes with a message of truth for you. You are hearing something that is not being said, and what you are hearing is truthful. You may feel as though you are the only one that is really ready to hear or see it. Perhaps you have been working in a situation or loving in a relationship where truth is consistently denied. Yeah, how many people are in relationships where truth is consistently denied? That's so huge.
Everybody's in that.
Yeah.
Except
Except for us. Yeah. We live in a world where truth is frequently avoided out of fear of what it might reveal. At the basis of such actions, consciously or not, is a deep sense of unhealed toxic shame. If you or someone else is fearful that the truth will expose rather than free and heal, then some personal healing is required. It is time for letting go of old wounds in favor of a greater sense of self-love and acceptance. Yeah, I mean, that's what people feel, that they're so shameful about their truths, right? So they hide from themselves and other people.
You're looking right at her. Right here. Yeah.
Well,
what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, we all do it to an extent. Some people more than others, but at some point we don't have to, but if you're on that journey of healing, you have to come around to where you accept your own truth and love yourself anyway.
Right. I saw myself as like compartments, like little compartments where I would just like open each door and see what was in there, because even for me, I didn't even know myself well enough. So I was like really like Hi, Coco. I was really like excited to get to know myself in that way. Like, where instead of being afraid of what I was going to find, a lot of people are scared to see things that they don't know is in there or that they've suppressed. But I think like when you finally get the ball rolling in the healing process, at least for me, I wanted to know what else was in there because that's where all your gifts are, the ones that you hide, you know. These are the things that you're just like holding close to you and, put on mask after mask after mask to protect yourself. And then when you
Right.
get down to it, it's just like, wow, there's a lot of cool stuff in there that you don't, that you forget that is in there.
Or that you think other people aren't going to accept. But
Right.
those are
The
but
best
like that,
parts.
right. And it's that authenticity that people really love.
Yeah. No, I know. Like, and I know that now because, yes, I was on the other side of it. Like, oh, no, I don't want to show anybody that. Like, what are they going to think if that's, if they really figure out who I am, you know? And yeah, no, it ends up being a great discovery, even for myself and for whoever is there to watch the unraveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that toxic shame that holds us back from revealing our truths. We're so shameful about them.
Hmm.
But when you really start to come out and accept those things about yourself, you realize that people accept you for who you are. And then there's freedom on the other side of that. You're just free to be who you are.
Everybody's in their own closet.
Yeah.
It is. It is. Everybody's just hiding themselves. Whatever they want to look at it like. No, everyone's in a closet. Sorry to break sorry to break it to you.
Yeah. So, you are being asked to love yourself enough to honor the truth, even if you feel you are the only one doing so. Sacred rebels need truth like lungs need oxygen. Truth keeps the energy of life flowing through the rebellious heart. Lies dampen the spirit of the sacred rebel. Even if those with less awakened hearts fear the truth, you must not turn away from it. Don't resent this state of affairs. Perhaps your job is to show that truth can be witnessed even when many may want to hide from it. What others do is always their choice, but through your honorable deeds done with integrity, you will be set free, no matter what the outcome. And this was really, for me, it was such a big thing to come out of the spiritual closet that I've been hiding in all this time. And coming out of it, it really felt like it was scary. There was so much fear around
Because
that.
you don't realize how many people are not on the same page as you. Like this is now where you have to actually be or stop that faking, like social whatever it is, like and now be yourself, knowing very well that yeah, there's no one there who's gonna understand or maybe they do, but like you don't know that because you've never been that with them.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And that's what you don't know, how many other people are hiding in the closet too, because they're afraid that they're not going to be accepted. I mean, I just got a visual in my head of sitting around the dinner table with a bunch of friends who you would consider unawakened, but the topic of, I think it was ghosts, came up. Every single person had a story,
Mm-hmm. Right.
right? And you wouldn't know that because nobody talks about that stuff. It's like hush hush. There's no such thing as ghosts,
Isn't
right?
it funny? It's weird,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's weird the stuff we don't talk about because we've been
I,
so conditioned not to talk about it,
I
you
talk
know?
about everything. It's
I
just me.
know you do.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, but that's it, right? That's why it's important to speak our truth and talk about our experiences because everybody goes through the same things. The things that we think are weird that people aren't going to accept, they're going through it too. They just don't talk about it. So
Right.
that's the importance of being authentic and stepping into your authentic self. So you are a truth seeker. Never deny or try to quiet this down to make others comfortable. You are meant to be an agitator at times, even though you don't have to confront people to do it. You don't necessarily have to say a word, though sometimes you will. Often you will agitate in the most loving sense by unveiling truth simply through your knowings. Hold compassion for the truths you behold. Do not use them as knives to cut another or yourself with harshness, but as the clear insight that allows one to loosen the knots that bind, simply by knowing which thread to gently tug. And that's the other thing too. People like us can be agitating to other people with
Yeah. It's
because
so
it
relating too, but sometimes I'm like, whatever, I'm gonna pull all those threads. I don't
yeah.
care. It's
And
not
it's like because it's like holding up a mirror and they don't want to look at it, you know. But you're not doing it purposefully to agitate. It's just your
no.
being that brings that up in people.
It's seed planting.
Yeah. So this oracle brings you guidance. If you have been worn down and depressed by the lies, gossip, deceit, or backstabbing going on around you, don't fret. Get out in nature and spend some time communing with the infinite. Healing will come to you now. No matter how many times, in how many ways, or by how many tongues untruth is spoken, you know what you know in your sacred rebellious heart. That truth is your connection to the living truth of life itself. Don't give up. Just open to the healing and know that the truth always, eventually prevails. Healing process. Place your hand at the front and back of your throat and say, I now release all vows of silence
I now release all vows of silence
I have ever made,
I have ever made,
consciously or not.
consciously or not.
I now release all lies,
I now release all lies,
deceptions,
deceptions,
and painful words,
and painful words,
spoken or unspoken,
spoken or unspoken,
that are affecting my ability
that are affecting my ability
to clearly know
to clearly know
and speak my truth.
and speak my truth.
I am, I am held in unconditional love
I am held in unconditional love,
with protection and grace.
with protection and grace.
So be it.
So be it.
You have finished your healing process. You might like to say something true just to anchor it. How about within me,
Within me,
beyond all that rises and falls,
beyond all that rises and falls,
only truth remains.
only truth remains.
Beautiful.
Namaste.
Namaste. I love it. Uh, Truth is so important. I just love truth, you
That's
know?
one of the things that has always stuck to me since I've known you.
What's that?
The truth.
The truth?
Always been so against like any type lying, deception, and that's why I like even in our relationship, I like that we have that kind of like let's just put it all out there and hope for the best, but there's no fear really. There's that initial, for me at least, initial fear of just okay, saying it, and then after that I'm like, oh, okay, that's not so bad.
Right.
But yeah, just like in the old like relationships and stuff, like just the little fibs or even the big ones.
Well,
Like,
that's it, right? Because I spent the first up until now in my life in that deception and manipulation and lying just constantly all around me in the chaos. And I just could never stand it. And now that I'm out of that and I have um, the control over my life now, and I'm where I want to be, like, yeah, the truth is important. And no one, you or otherwise, is ever going to tell me anything that is going to make me love you any less. If you're truthful with me, that's the most important thing.
right.
Yeah. The truth has always been the most important thing to me. And yeah, some people just don't get that, because I'm so non-judgmental, because I've been through it all. I've done it all, you know, like there's nothing I'm going to judge you for. So yeah, it's really different. Yeah.
I was really like, I can't lie.
Well, you can't, well, that's it, because you can't lie anyway, because I'm like a human lie detector. Like I see through everything anyway.
Right. But I know. But that makes it easier because it's like, it's not scary, you know, just breaking out of that fear of like, you know, feeling like that child is going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. All great.
Well, that's a good message for the collective. Truth telling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very important. Because I mean, like, how many people are out there that are pretending, being in relationships and pretending it's all great, or being the persona that they are, and like upholding like this image when it's
Right.
not even who they are.
Yeah, they're just masks.
Yeah.
Everybody wears a mask to some extent until you make the decision to just strip away all the masks and just really be who you are, no matter what situation you're in or what relationship you're in. That's what authenticity means to me, to be able to be yourself no matter what situation you're in, you know. So what we're going to do next is put you in the bubble and talk to the Sirian Light Council.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to stop this recording and we'll pick it back up. See you soon.
My whole body has been vibrating. I was just settling into that.
Do you have any visuals or anything?
I feel like we're in like an amphitheater. Trying to look around. There's a lot of seats. It's empty. But I know the council's here. They're watching me.
You feel them or see them?
Yeah, I think that's why I'm vibrating.
Hmm.
They're here. I just can't see them. I could feel them.
That's okay. You don't have to see them. What does it feel like? What does the vibration feel like?
Like that feeling I got when the phone rang, when you called me. Maybe that's what they wanted to prepare me for.
Is it overwhelming or?
It's a mix of emotions, like excitement and not anxiety, not the bad anxiety, like the good anxiety, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, they asked to come through. They came to both of us and asked to come through. They must have a message
They're
for us.
probably like gathering their PowerPoint. If this is why we're in an amphitheater.
Yeah, that would make sense. Did you see them the last time we connected with them? Like, did you have a visual?
Not particularly. I just knew they were there. I guess it's kind of like now where I know that they're here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like on a mezzanine level looking down. It seems like in the center, best seat in the house, right at the railing. Hmm.
What else are you sensing?
Um, well, I see like cartoon Earth on the screen.
Cartoon Earth?
Yeah, I think they're playing like a reel. I could hear, the sound of film rolling.
Uh-huh.
That is what I hear. I don't know what they want to show me. I do feel Earth. It's about Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's an image of another Earth next to it with lights. I
With
don't
light?
know if that, like, I feel like it's illuminated.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking that as new Earth. Yes, I'm feeling resonance. Like, yes, you're right. I guess I don't know what kind of game this is. We're supposed to play like some charades.
It's okay.
Okay.
Well, we're just getting into the scene, so just allow it to be. You're doing great. Think, just let yourself sink in. Everything's good.
Yeah, I'm just going with what I'm seeing. So there's Earth, illuminated Earth, which is new Earth. And now I'm getting a big red X on it. Like,
Over the new Earth.
yes. And now it's focusing on Earth and then zooming in on her. That's
It's
where we need to
focused.
focus. This is where we need to look at where we are because it's zooming now on me, on the Earth. There you
So
are too.
you see me too?
We're on the Earth,
3D Earth.
3D Earth. And it seems that we are the only ones on it.
What does that mean?
Could someone please come out? Oh. And they're like coming out. They're like slow clapping.
Like, good job putting the puzzle together.
Yeah. Like sarcastic slow clap. No, it's okay. Of course.
What do they look like?
I see like I can't really make them out as, but I feel like they're just luminous blue light. And type like very um I can't see that they're in robes. I don't know. I can't really see, but I just see like light, blue light.
What color blue?
Oh, like what do you call it? Like the dark blue,
Like indigo?
indigo, indigo blue. Yeah. And just like feel their presence. There's one that I guess is sticking out more, maybe the one that's going to speak. Has a name tag.
What's it say?
Azul.
Azul?
Yeah,
Azul?
Azul. Yeah. Whistle.
Huh.
Cuss.
What's happening?
I feel like Azula's putting on a microphone on. Getting ready. Ready to speak.
Let me know when he's ready. How many are there?
I feel 12.
12.
It's like a blob of blue, making one huge aura of blue.
They're just all blending together.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just energy.
Yeah, consciousness.
All right, ready.
Ready.
Ready,
Okay.
like ready. Hello. Test.
Okay, so you brought us here today. Is that because you have a message you want to share?
Well, I feel that we've been cut off the first time, and so this is like a take two.
Take two.
Take two. We're recording, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, we are.
Take two. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us here. This is exciting.
Yes, it's so exciting. I'm really happy that you're here. We had so much fun the last time, no one really gets to speak to us, and
Well,
hmm.
yes, this is exciting.
Yeah, I had to bring my good microphone.
Great.
Yes, we're all ready.
So, take two. What do we
Take
want to talk
two.
about today?
Well, that's why we began with the image. What is the focus? What is the real focus? And the real focus is not the new earth. I mean, yes, it's good, but I mean, like, let's merge that new earth image into where we really are. That's where we are. Gaia, and no one, she called her distress, and where's everybody going? They're going to this imaginary place.
Yeah.
And it's like, let's be here. Like, she's here, she's physical, she's real. And it's like everybody's on her, but trying to get out of that, not being present with her.
Right.
Wrong.
Right.
I mean, not to
Yes.
say it's wrong. I don't want to say wrong. It's not wrong. It's great, that they're able to tap into the whatever the higher aspects, but you can't integrate it, by creating something that's not physically there. We have, you're physically here. I get if you're not in a physical body that you can then go wherever the hell you want. That's where you chose to go, but you are physical, you're 3D.
Right.
How else are we going to vibrate higher if you're trying to go to the next level when you haven't even tried to be in this one? You can't raise something that you're not in.
Right. So you're talking about the people that are not integrating the 5D or 4D into their 3D reality. They're just
They're already in
it's
5D, and it's like you already skipped 2.
right. It's just like they're escaping out into 5D instead
It's
of
an easy way out, and it's for them to like not have to face like the concept. They get the concept where they need to be, so they're jumping out to go where they need to be. But there's so many things before that to integrate it. It's like you're getting to the good part, you're getting on the icing of the cake. You got to go make the cake first.
right.
The
And
idea of it,
right.
which is all
And
ego driven, right?
how so?
Well, it's just like, the ego doesn't want to be looked at, so they're like mirroring outward, like go there. Go to where it feels blissful. Bring me with you. So they have this idea, and in their minds they are in the right place, and telling them that they aren't, they're not going to like that, which is the ego.
Right.
Like, you don't have to be outside of yourself. Like, they are going outside of themselves. They're creating this blissful earth, which yes, it's true. It is there, but you can't. It Why did you incarnate as a human?
Right. So how do we make the cake
Be a
first?
human.
Be a human.
Be a human. Haven't you done the steps to being a human? This is all the parts where, yes, we have, everyone has experienced the human part, which is why they're all leaving, because they can't face it. It's too heavy. That's the point. That's what you chose. You're here to do exactly that.
Right.
You're skipping layers, like you're just going straight to the sugar when there are other elements there that need to be addressed, need to be put into the formula to get to where you have to be. It's not complete. You can be there, but you're not completing it. It's like a cheat
Right.
sheet.
Right.
The sore losers.
It's skipping a lot of steps in between.
Yes. It's being here. It's so simple. Right, Tina? So obvious.
So obvious.
Yes, it's so obvious, but it's not, to them, it's not. It's just like,
Well,
forget it.
humans, yeah, and humans seem to always look for the easy way out of things. They don't like to do the work.
Right. And this is the generation of the millennials now, especially the parents of the millennials, making it easy for their children, not looking at the real issues, blaming outside of themselves, everything outside, not looking and taking accountability for themselves.
Right.
It's the same with the spiritual community. They're creating, looking outside of themselves, creating something outside of themselves and integrating themselves out. Yeah, they are astral traveling. That's real. They are doing that. They're communicating, they're doing things outside, like the fun stuff where they get out of body, and, because they've been so physical and in their body for so long and all that pain, now they can get out of it. And they're doing, they're roaming around. But where does that leave the actual spiritual experience? The spiritual experience is the human experience, where you are the soul in the body, not just the soul. You're totally ignoring what makes the 3D, the actual body, the vessel that you're in, that you chose to be in. You're just ignoring the good parts. And then the ego loves that I'm saying that. The ego, the body, like, you got two good things there that you get to partner with. and the hardest ones that you have to partner with. And
Well,
that's how you
yeah.
get to the next levels. It's not just jumping out. Like everyone can get the cheat sheet and get out. Go dream big. And then come here and you have to, and then they're with their 3D world and they do deal on a certain extent, but then they can just check out at will if they want to. People are, this is what they aspire to do. Go do their 5D thing. But then they don't know how to be human. Like what's the point?
Right. So you're saying the actual experience we came here for is to
Is
be
the most
human.
spiritual experience you can have.
Right. In integrating the ego and the physical body.
Yes. That's power. When you can master the three things, becoming one with yourself, you can expand to greater lengths. Not just taking the soul. I'm not saying the soul is not enough. This, of course, the soul is enough, it is the part. But these are also the experience that, where God has created to see through. It's that experience right there.
Right, because God, we are creations of source so that God can have this human experience through us and
Yes.
integrate the ego and our 5D consciousness within the physical body. That's the whole point.
Absolutely. That is the whole point.
But they're so focused outside of themselves on the 5D earth and on the new earth, the 5D earth, that they're just totally checking out of the human experience.
Yes, when they finally get that opportunity to be spiritual or they wake up, they see that it's not all that it is, but they're misleading in that point. And then they go out there and get the wrong information, or they are getting the right information, but not integrating it correctly to where they are as a human in the healing process. Yes, you can get there. That is the ultimate point. But you have to be here, human, and live your 3D life as a 5D being.
Right.
Not a Jedi. Like, no one, that's not, no, no. Come on. Like, it's not necessary. Like, putting those labels, like, that's just another ego. It's just be yourself, like, how beautiful is that?
Yeah.
What you guys were talking about before in your intro message about the truth. Be yourself, be authentic, like break those barriers. Those are the hardest parts. That's where you create the ripple effect of that reflection inward, as within so without. Like be God, and be that example to allow others the safety to come out as well, come out of their little closets of being themselves, and to not feel like they're being judged, like, yeah, we have two groups here. You have the spiritual group, and then you have like the ones that are asleep and just being themselves, like whatever that is. None are wrong on either way. They are where they have to be. So, I mean, not to say that these 5D'ers are whatever. It's just that if they want to raise the vibration of the earth, as the distress has been called out, they have to regress a little bit and come back into themselves to lead.
Right.
And they probably will end up coming back as a human to relive that and wake up again and do it the way it's supposed to be.
So you're saying they would have to come back again if they don't bring the 5D down into this reality to integrate it.
You got it, baby.
Yeah, well, I don't think anybody wants that.
No. This is it. This is the message. The distress signal. Like, hello,
Right.
you're human. Be a human.
Right.
Right. So simple. Be a human. I know it's simple, like to say it's simple, but yes, be a human. Have your emotions, validate them, have your experiences as a human, be in your body, love your body, heal your body, exactly what you're doing, and integrate everything, all your lessons, and come to yourself in that way, not trying to suppress, because that's where the illness comes in, and the suppression part of feeling. And but when you come to that awareness of that your feelings are valid, and it's not, doesn't have to be so painful, and you become an observer of it. I know these are a lot of steps that get you there, so I'm just simplifying it here, but taking the steps to integrating the humanness, the human aspect, the ego, the painful ego, the pained ego, and also being friends with the body, not getting mad at the body for being too big or not good enough or whatever it is. It's the acceptance, the full self acceptance as a whole, all parts of you.
Mm.
And yeah, it is a lot of undoing, because we did come here with a storyline, and on top of the storyline, your everything that has been latched onto you as you were playing out your storyline that you chose to come here to do, and using those specific tools, or I call them tools, but or as what the memories that were given to you, and emotions, and the pain and the trauma, and to use it to your advantage. Step out of it, get that awareness, and be aware, and you're out of it now. You are the spotlight. There's a few of you that are spotlights out there that are actually embodying the 3D with a 5D consciousness and holding that light. There are people that are light out there, the 5Ders, but it's empty spotlights. They have not even come into their bodies yet and felt it through and through for them to integrate the 5D. It's just like, an empty light, where
Right.
they haven't even come into the body and done it, or
So
be human.
how do we use our pain and trauma?
Well, these are always like the catalyst of everything, right? The darkest parts, the duality, you know, it's undoing, not undoing, but like allowing everything to come together and putting it all together, not having to separate anything. It's just really having it all come together and trying to allow the normalization of these emotions instead of running away from them. Even people run away from happiness because they're so terrified. It's that fear, there's a fear on everything. It's that fear of feeling sad. It's that fear of feeling pain. It's that fear of feeling happy, because they have that state of lack that's just keeping them and pulling them away from the experience. So everyone's just checking out and not being present in whatever is there at that moment. And it's allowing everything to come together, whatever that emotion is in that moment, being in your body, honoring it, having that human experience, and not allowing it for yourself to self-destruct inside out. It is presence. That is a huge thing, being in the body and being present.
Being in the body, right? So many people are trying to get out of the body.
When the body is the vehicle, it's the vessel, the physical vessel. This is the 3D.
Right.
This is the beautiful part.
Right. To hold a 5D consciousness within a 3D body.
Mm-hmm.
But the body is also upgrading, right?
Yes.
I mean, It's taking.
Yeah, that's why you're not going to upgrade if you're out there and your body is rotting. You have to come into your body and heal it and integrate together. It's not pieces. We're not pieces. We're one. Come together, all of it, all together. Even the ego will upgrade, just like what Karen did. Just after that session, no problem. Upgraded, done.
Right. Because the ego, everyone's always talking bad about the ego and trying to separate themselves from the ego and just being all spirit. But we learned that it's important to integrate the ego and upgrade the ego. And
in the not the correct way, but yeah, in the same way that you are trying to be in the spiritual aspect, like really just acceptance, oneness, and you can integrate the ego. The ego is not only there, it's not there to sabotage only. It's there, that's the fear aspect of it, the dense part. But you can get to the 5D ego. It's there. It's
right.
possible. It's just an upgrade too, just like the body. An ill body, 3D, 5D body healed. One.
Right. Because people think that being in 5D is all love and light. But what they don't realize is that 5D, there's still ego. There's still some form of
Yes,
ego.
of course.
It's just an upgraded version of it.
Absolutely. All
People,
upgraded. You have to do the work. You can't just go to 5. It doesn't work like that. You came here to be human. That's 3. Automatic. You don't wake up and go to 5. You wake up and you integrate 3 to get to 5, or at least to the very least, healing yourself, healing your trauma, healing your past, healing whatever it is that's coming out to the forefront, that and not ignoring it, but sitting in it and being and embodying it so that it can pass through. Acknowledging it is the only way to bring it to light. And yes, it does take time. Some traumas do take time because it's like you're still holding on to the storyline. There's nothing wrong with holding on to the storyline so long as you let it go eventually. It's an understanding that it doesn't have to be part of the book, your life story. You could take out all those pages. You are still complete. And then upgrading yourself, slowly integrating your new lessons and healing and moving forward motion all the time, healing your body, being one with your body, being kind to your body through all the abuse that it went through, even through, the negative thought forms. Forgiveness, always forgiving yourself at all times. Even if you feel like a regression, it's not a regression, it's just old stuff coming out again. It's okay. Just as long as you're, becoming aware of what's coming out. And then you just keep going forward. And everything is progression. So long as you're aware of where you're at and you sit in it and not beat yourself up for it. Nothing is wrong. It's just taking the time to be in the body. That's where you want to start. Get into your vehicle and go somewhere. Be in the body. Get to know your surroundings. Get to know your environment. You are the first environment. This is you are what creates your outer environment. So get to know your inner environment. And if it's chaotic inside, it's going to be chaotic outside, right? So get in there. Love yourself. Love this whole experience. It's showing you something. It's making you stronger. It's getting you to where you need to be. And then when you feel that healing, that love expand within you, your outer part, your environment will expand as well. And then becoming, embodying, like when you know better on the 5D and, slowly healing your body, like allowing it to catch up with you. And then when it finally gets there, as well as the ego, then you are 5D living in a 3D body. But the body is going to catch up. It knows, it trusts now again. It trusts you again. It's not no room anymore for deception. Those are all the 3D stuff, little things. Whereas it's self-acceptance completely and fully, loving yourself there, loving your experience, knowing that you are playing a role here, raising the vibration. You raise the most vibration when you are in your body, not when you're out of it. And Gaia connects more to that because that is where she holds. You are standing on her. Your 3D self is standing on Gaia. So how else is she going to connect with you if your feet are not on that ground? And you're out there fluttering around, you know, meeting your mate.
Can we talk about twin flames a little bit and how that works?
Twin flames. Such a funny subject. Funny that, yes, you know, like what you and Karen do discuss about it. It's all true. It's real. That again, let's go back to the 3D picture. You know, everything that we've been slapped on and conditioned. Back to fear, you know, fear and limited experiences, where even in relationships are in a type prison where you don't feel free to speak your truth, to be who you are, because you're catering to another body or another being. Those types of like false relationships, like the relationship of conditioned relationships, those are things that have to be taken out. Yes, the twin flame relationships is like a soul split in two. And to break the ideal of what a relationship is supposed to look like, that 3D thing. Again, now integrating your 5D self into the body, but as a relationship, a union. And yeah, you expand that way too when you can, because I mean, you could do it all on your own, but to find, I guess, your divine counterpart and who has also done the same work. Like, can you imagine how powerful that is? Where there's no restrictions, where you are completely embodied as your I am presence, and then together with the other, embodying their I am presence. Like, you can't get any more closer to God than that.
Right. Yeah, it's powerful. But there's a lot of like twin flame seems to be a buzzword recently, and everyone is waiting around for their twin, and they seem to be in these unhealthy, abusive relationships. Can you tell us anything about that? What is that about?
Well, it's only a mirror of what they need to fulfill within themselves, you know, seeking outside of themselves, seeking a partner to fulfill them. They are chasing and in the meantime running away from themselves. So if you could imagine like themselves, like, you know, going out there looking, you know, looking for their love when their love is all in here. They got to just reverse it, come back inside. And no, in that case, they won't attract, you know, a toxic person who is also, you know, they're just mirroring, they're just attracting, you know, like exactly like what needs to be healed inside of themselves. It's an old pattern.
Right, Because the twin flame journey is actually about healing the divine feminine and masculine within yourself first.
And finding and getting the balance. It's all about the individual. Bringing it all, healing all of it, balancing, and having the becoming one with that duality inside, so that you're not fighting light and dark, for example. It just is. It's one. It's all one, no matter what side or whatever, however you humans look at it, or
Right.
how. Yeah, it's all one. There's no separation. There's no categories really. It's all such a vast space. Not everybody is in one specific spot. It's everything, like you will be triggered with everybody and everything and anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for you to take responsibility and understand that within yourself, those triggers, right? And not to go, the old stuff, level 1, okay, blame, blame, blame. Level 2, it's being like, at least understanding that, okay, wait, okay, I keep pointing my finger outward, but I'm the only one who it's happening to. So now it's like, what do I do now? Am I still going to point my finger, or am I going to try to understand that inside of myself? And then have to do that for every trigger. So you can have thousands and at different levels on top of it, because it's never always ending. It's just easier to come through or to see it. And they're not tests, they're just there. I mean, like, it's because you are being exposed to the different levels of different people and situations. They're all at different levels. It's not really a test like how you think it is, like, oh, I'm being tested again. No, it's
Mm-hmm.
just you're being exposed to something. It's just that it didn't hurt, or you didn't feel anything before that, but it was because that part was healed. But now we are doing a different level to which you are exposed to. So it might trigger just a little bit, and then it's just reassessing, healing, being aware of it. Really, all it is at that point when you get to level 3 of that, of the new wave of, like, I guess, of a trigger. It's easier to assess. It's just going to be a lot easier because you know it. And again, and it all comes down to, okay, I'm not going to beat myself up for it. It's showing me something. It's not old. I'm just moving on up.
Right.
It's going to get easier. It always gets easier. You see, if you compare yourself to how you used to deal with things and how you deal with things now, not even close.
No.
No.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Not even
And it gets
close.
easier.
Yeah.
It gets
Absolutely.
tons easier. Yeah.
Yeah, and the healing never ends, like you
No.
said. It just keeps going, and we reach
Right. And
new
it doesn't
levels.
make you, yeah, and it doesn't make you any less spiritual. It's like that work is the spiritual work. Like, you're always in it. And the more that you recognize it, the more spiritual you are, whatever you want to see it. But it's, yeah, the experience. It's all about the human experience. That's as spiritual as you get.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah. And it seems like people are just trying to escape the human part.
Yes, that's what you came here to do and be. So be it.
Right. Yeah.
So obvious.
So obvious.
Right. You see all these humans. How many people in this spiritual community?
Yeah.
There's been such a rise in it, and how many can you really say have done the healing work?
Right.
Like, genuinely, how many? You could probably count it on your hand.
Can you talk a little bit about the empaths and how we can help them, because they seem to be having a really rough time, stuck in these toxic relationships with narcissists. They're chronically ill. They're absorbing everybody's energies, and they just...
You're just going to have to keep putting that information out there. You're one of the only ones that know exactly that entire puzzle piece. You were there for that reason. That video is great. That you
Thanks.
made. Yes. Like, post that video. Like, keep doing videos. And whatever you're called to do, put that information out there, even if you don't know who's going to see it, right? But it will hit the right people. That's all you got to worry about. It's going to hit the right people. And if it doesn't, don't worry about it. Just keep putting something out there. They need that information. They need to know that it's possible, or at least just that spark, like of awareness. Again, that is enough to raise the vibration. Just being in the slightest of self-aware is a raise, which is better than nothing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do they need to know?
What do they need to know? To not be afraid of what they're feeling. And I know that's easy for me to say. I don't have a body. But to really hold on to that hope that there is light at the end of the tunnel. They are the light at the end of the tunnel. They have to just focus on themselves, on that light within. That they're not crazy. They are valid. The empaths, what they feel, the responsibility is on so many layers of, yes, absorbing others, understanding that they have to create those boundaries. Boundaries is huge.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the biggest thing for empaths is the boundaries.
Yeah, it'll cut things in half. Just being aware, like, they like to hold on to this label of, oh, I'm an empath. So it gives them permission to be shat on. And that's not it. Like, oh, like, oh, I'm sensitive because I'm an empath. No, it's so much more than that. Like, they are being victimized by this storyline. But there's so much more than that. There's so much bigger than that. But they do have a role to play. Just like how you've done your part in moving forward in your role, discovering, your physical, the empath as you are. And then next step, oh, okay, my husband's a narc. Okay, so you understand that. And then you take the time to look, understanding what that is and, wrapping your head around that about how you've been deceived all that time. So yes, you can get lost in that story where you're like, oh my God, okay, now I have to make a decision. Do I stay? Like, you see how long this process is? Well, you've lived it. So I'm just showing you that process of, yes, wrapping your head around it and then understanding too, okay, here, let's take back that label of empath. Okay, and I've been absorbing that. And I've had all these experiences before, especially with your family and what you had to go through with all the deaths. And knowing that you had to absorb all that too, on top of the toxic childhood, okay, you see, we're going back now further, and carrying all that with you up to the point to which you're like, okay, now I have a narc husband, and I've attracted that, and now I understand it, and I've been absorbing it. So is it mine or is it theirs? Like, and it's a bit of a mind fuck, obviously. But great, it's great because you're asking the right questions. You're being in your body and asking the right questions. That's healing. And now, yes, it has already manifested into illness. And as you're already coming into that, the awareness of like, okay, well, what is all this for? Great question. What is all this for? And yeah, you put it all together that yes, okay, let me look at my childhood. What did I go through? Okay, I obviously attracted this guy, and that looks like my dad.
Mm.
And like there you're putting all your points on the board and connecting everything together, like that crazy detective board.
Yeah.
Yes. And it really is just a bunch of experiences that you've had in which you are not coping well because you weren't taught how to cope, right? Which is another piece of the puzzle. Coping mechanisms. And just stuffing it down within yourself, and not having a relationship with your body. We're not taught that either, right? To have a relationship with your body because of the pressure of how that body is supposed to look and perform when it's deceiving you at an early age. That pain that you're feeling, emotionally neglected, and then all suppressed and in there, and then creating, being a woman, very strong woman, and having to feel that pain that time of the month on top of the social anxiety of life. It's crazy, right? You're like, I mean, I know you're imagining it, but like forgive yourself. Like it's a lot. And so you come to that point where you wake up and you see your life. You have your own little life review.
Yeah.
You do it yourself. You have your own life review, and you see and you place everything, your pins everywhere. And understanding where you are in this dense body. And eventually coming to the point where yes, you are an empath. And so you're absorbing. Yes, you are going to attract because you were mirroring old things and how you're not supposed to have self-worth, and also the collective of the divine feminine and losing themselves in that. See, we're going real far now, like, but it's so relative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And placing that also in your own puzzle, which is the puzzle of everybody. Like, it's everybody. It's just that who the hell has time to talk to, or talk to themselves and be like, hey, like,
Me.
right. But this is what I'm saying. I go, you are that light, the beacon who did all the work. People need to see that. That's why I put that information out there. You took the time to look at everything, why you attracted that, and how it relates to this, and understanding your emptiness inside, and why everything that, or all the people that had come thereafter, even after you had learned that, you're like, why do I attract all these people? Just leveling up. It's not to show you, well, it is there to show you, but I mean, like, it's not, it's just for you to pass it, purge it, allow it
Mm-hmm.
to come through, because now when you're within these people, they don't bother you anymore, right?
Mm.
Exactly. You don't question anymore why. It's just you are so in yourself and embodying that beautiful light within, and allowing that light in within yourself to expand. It is what is creating your environment outside. The beauty of yourself is the beauty on the outside. That's why you only put your focus on the beauties of everything that you see in your life now, not the little characters that come in and they don't ruin your day or anything, or they're just there and you can detach from it. It's not your experience, like your internal experience. They're just there. So, yeah, I completely commend that work you've done, and understanding every little aspect that had come through to you, and even through the lineages before and past lives, let's say, and everything that has come through that you've chosen to accomplish in this life. And it's really big of you to choose all of that. And it's, yes, this is why I chose the amphitheater, because this is where you are going to show yourself. This is where you're going to light, to show them what you did, how you did it, and you coming out with these videos of putting it all together, and just learning about yourself through the process, and just loving yourself there through all you've done. Can you remember the feeling of that, of the density of the body when you're deep in pain and you didn't understand why? The grief that you felt when you lost your parents, that feeling of feeling lost and not knowing if you're going to make it.
Yeah.
And now jump here now. And it's just such a relief, a release of how, of that distance. And that is exactly what people need to embody, is to take the time to put their puzzle together and look at everything that has ever given them joy, all the way to what has made them feel like they weren't sure anymore if they were going to make it. They have to look at everything and be in that, and for, love themselves for how far they have come.
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference when you can love your body and just like separate yourself from that body at this moment and see how much it had to go through as well. The suffering of it, of trying to sustain and keep you on your feet to get you to point A to B, to wake up in the morning when it was just like, I'm done, And you had to see that you had to come together, everything, even fighting that ego inside and saying, like, well, the fights. Everybody has those fights in their minds, right? Coming together, the three, and finding a solution, and understanding and having compassion for the self, empathy for the self, taking the time to create boundaries so that we do not repeat, not having to repeat those same storylines that, got you in this place. It's a lot of forgiveness. It is a lot of taking that time. Because, I mean, as a human, that is time. You are in the time. That's what exists on the 3D world.
Yeah.
Time. And yeah, yes, I understand, like, okay, time doesn't exist. It all exists all at the same time. Yes, but in a human life, time exists. It does. And you use that. Either you don't use it to your advantage, and you grow old and you look back at your life and you're like, where did all that time go? Yeah, you weren't doing any of that healing or finding the connections. So yeah, you took that time and you got yourself out of your unhealthy relationships, built yourself a life, and still in the process of, you know, getting out of the fear-based things, learning still how to trust on different levels of life, healing your
Mhm.
body. Your body is doing amazing. And, you understand your story. Now you can just kind of like take all the papers that you've of your story and just throw it all up there. It's celebration, and celebrating every step of the way when you do have those moments of clarity and vitality. And not a lot of humans have vitality. Their spirits are so down, but it's
Yeah.
part of their own way of running away from themselves and not trying to understand. You've done it in tremendous time. Both of you have actually done a lot of work in tremendous time.
Yeah, I mean, it's only been 5 years.
Hmm.
When you think about that, it's really, it feels like a million years when you're going through it, right? But
Hmm.
it really wasn't. It was really fast.
It was very fast, really fast. I mean, compared to people who go through therapy, for decades and have no breakthrough. You
Yeah.
did all the bulk of the work on your own.
Hmm.
You did have, like, supporting each other through it, but you did all the bulk of the work. You did the work.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, has to be, healing is a huge commitment and you have to be serious about it. And
Right. And this is what we're working with too. People who are not ready to commit because they don't know how to commit to themselves. So that's one of their big lessons here on earth. Commitment. Coming back home to themselves. Just that commitment. It's
yeah.
always outside of themselves. They need to commit outside of themselves for them to feel whole inside. So there's no commitment inside. They can't commit. They'll never be able to commit outside.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, it's frustrating because, when you want to help people and you see all these disempowered empaths just, they're so victims of life, and
Right.
you've been there and done that, and it can be so different, but not many people want to listen to me. So,
The right ones will.
yeah.
Your example is enough, and just continue. Like, now that you're outside of your bubble and feeling a little more confident in yourself, go go out there and be the good trolls.
Good trolls.
Yeah, the good trolls. Be a poppy. Like, go out there and write those messages and
Be
reach.
poppy. I like that message. Be poppy.
Be poppy.
I'm gonna write that
Be that
down.
troll. Hashtag be poppy. And write your write your messages.
Yeah, I will.
And when you do reach, like, these people reach out to you, just again reassure them it is well, put the disclaimer out. You actually have to do the work. I'm not going to do it for you.
Mm,
See, it's always going to be that people are going to think that you are going to do it for them. They have to understand that the commitment, step one, is I commit to myself.
yeah.
That's where everybody needs to begin. the commitment to themselves.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
never about the outside, it's always about within.
Yes. But you have to really be ready to make that. Like, most humans, it seems, have to be at the point, like rock bottom, where they can't take it anymore. And that's when they're finally ready to make big changes, because to do this, to heal, requires us to make big changes in every area of our life. And that's hard.
Right.
Hard
It
for
is.
humans to make changes like that.
Yes, it's very hard to get out of that victimized state. Could be very addicting.
Hmm.
They like getting the attention and it doesn't
Right.
last very long, and then they got the tools, but they say that they got the tools, but to them it's still getting that attention to get the tools. Now they actually have to apply the tools.
Right.
And they like, some people just generally don't know how. They want to, but they don't know how.
Right.
Now, if you could think of Karen's experience and her healing, like you've watched it, you physically watched it happen.
Hmm.
That's how you have to go about it. What you did for her, for example.
Right. But she was so open and willing, and pretty much the only person that's ever listened to me. So, yeah, I'll just put myself out there, and,
No expectations.
no expectations.
No, you can't. You're not going to heal the whole world, but you've already healed your world, which is ample, more than enough. That's like a lot more than it was before, right? So,
Well, right, and that's the thing, like, and that's what I'm recovering from, trying to heal everybody else, right?
mm-hmm,
And then bringing that focus back in and
mm-hmm.
saying, this is how I did it. I'm going to share it with you, and then you're going to do it too. Like, I'm just a helper.
Yes.
I'm not a healer. I'm a helper, and I'm going to show you how to do it. But I'm not
Mm-hmm.
doing it for you. No, I'm not
Yeah,
getting.
because you've already done it. Like, why would you want to do that again for somebody else who will probably not reach your expectation,
Right,
right?
right, right. And that's the thing with helping people. You really have to let go of those expectations.
Codependent no more.
Codependent no more.
That was also
Yeah,
another pin on the board, you know?
yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I
So many
understand. Like,
pins. Oh my God, so many pins. We should do that one day. Get all the pins out. Um, so do you have any message for Karen?
mm,
What?
Karen, she's cute.
She's cute.
Yeah. She's just living her best life.
Yeah,
Hmm. She's good. She's doing good.
I know she is.
She's
Um,
doing great. She could go in her feelings, and it's great. Like, she's allowing herself to get in her feelings and not filter it.
yeah.
Hmm.
How about a final message for the collective?
Final message for the collective. Everybody, be human. It's not that hard.
Be human.
5D is great. Yes, I get it. But be 3D first. Then you'll know how strong you really are. You'll know how spiritual you really are if you really get into 3D.
Great.
Feel those feelings. Cry. Be angry. It's okay. make a fist.
It's not spiritual to be angry.
Yes, it is. I know you're kidding, but yes, of course it is. It is spiritual to be angry because that's just the experience. That is the experience. The spiritual experience is embodying all aspects of yourself in this 3D life.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, anger, spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
Fall in love with yourself again.
Oh, that's really beautiful.
Yeah, it's like the biggest romance ever.
Mm.
Karen loves romance.
You know. Let me see if there's anything else. No, I think that's it. Thank you so much for speaking with us today. Thank you for sharing everything you shared for me and the collective and Karen. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you too. Thanks for having us. I don't know if you wanted just some light.
Sure. Take some light. Absolutely.
Sorry, I'm like,
What?
no, Karen's just making me laugh in my. She was doing like she was pretending to do like the light language thing, like oh.
Toning.
Yeah. We love you. We're always with you.
Thank you. We love you too.
We'll come back again.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording and then I'll bring you out.